Welcome, and thank you for joining us. My name is Kevin Lazoric, and I am the Chief Commercial Officer at Qlik Intelligence.
And I'm Jim Smith, the Technical Partner Manager for Qlik.
We're excited to have you join our content series on the AI landscape in 2026. This is the first of many topics we'll be diving into with Jim and the Qlik team. There's so much noise around AI right now. Every week there's a new model, a new co-pilot, a new heading about jobs disappearing or companies transforming overnight. So in this series, we want to cut through the noise and talk about what's actually changing for business leaders, what you need to understand, what decisions you'll be asked to make, and how to do that in a way that's grounded in your data, not just the hype. In this first episode, we're going to zoom out and look at the broader AI landscape in 2026, why this moment is different from the last few hype cycles, and what does that mean for you and how you run your business. So, Jim, from Qlik's vantage point, as you talk with customers every day, what feels different now from versus last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, Kevin, I think the main thing that feels different is the maturity that people have with what they expect from AI. I think when people started to ask about it 2 or 3 years ago, it was all about doing pilots or POCs of AI in a small department or maybe in an innovation center. And I think organizations have moved on where they want to start using AI in day-to-day work processes. They want to start using AI in analytics, in planning, in frontline applications. The other shift that I think we've seen is it used to be just the CIO asking for an AI project. And now what we're seeing is business owners who really want to start doing AI. So I think as organizations have looked at AI, they've realized they need to kind of have a better feel for where their data's at. They need to be more connected with their data, have it more governed. And I think now that they've gotten there, or at least some of them have, they want AI to sit on top of that.
That absolutely makes sense. And I think it aligns with a lot of things that we're seeing in our customer discussions, because it does feel that, 2026 is a turning point in this space, and as well as expectations around AI from what was like earth-shatteringly new when the broader market got exposed to it. So now, as we think about this shift, and we say we're shifting from pilots to digital coworkers, what that actually means, for a business user and a business leader in particular. Because for us, the big shift is that AI is starting to show up as something that owns a more recurring role versus being a one-off experiment, right? So you talked about your customers, year or 2 years ago being more around pilots. And we saw the same thing. So a pilot might be, let's see if we can use a model to predict churn on some sample of customers, or in this chatbot, answer FAQs. So these were interesting, but the business still runs the way it runs before that pilot was introduced. And if that pilot is turned off, it's going to run the same way. So we started thinking about the concept of like digital coworker. That's different, right? So it could be an AI agent that creates your weekly revenue summary from Qlik, and highlights 3 issues you need to look into and posts it into your Teams or your Slack every Monday at 8 a.m., right? Or it could be a co-pilot in your CRM that looks at your pipeline and flags risky deals, maybe suggests, next steps to the sales manager and sales leader and the team. And if you switch that off, people feel it, because it's become part of the operating of the team. So when we say digital coworker, we mean that AI is given a defined job with clear guardrails and measurable output that is then plugged into your systems and data, not just sitting off the side, in a lab. And so, Jim, from the Qlik perspective, how are you seeing that show up in the analytics world? And what are you seeing with customers who may be a little further along in their adoption versus ones who are starting out?
Yeah, we see that a lot with our analytics users, as you might expect, Kevin, because I think a lot of analytics users are used to getting answers via a report. And I think with AI, organizations are really starting to look for more. And I would say probably 3 different things that they're looking for. One, they want to have much more than just a report. They want to be able to ask natural language questions and get natural language answers, where maybe the answer is a bar chart or whatever sort of visualization you want. but then they want additional narratives on top of that data. They want someone else to be able to, or something else like an AI engine, be able to pull out interesting nuggets about that data. So that's the first thing that I think we're seeing. Next, I think a lot of organizations want their analytics tool to be more diagnostic, where not only is it giving you the high-level number, like, oh, sales have gone down 20%, they want to see the details of influencers of why it's gone down 20%. So what are the fields, the dimensions that are affecting that? And then finally, and this is something we've kind of seen even before AI became really pervasive, but now so even more with AI, is they want the analytics tool to be more proactive. They don't want users to have to log on to their analytics engine and look at a report on a day-to-day basis. They want the analytics engine to be sending them emails, sending them alerts, telling them when there is an issue, and kind of telling them what that issue is. So I think those three things are kind of what we're seeing in the analytics market that AI is really driving.
So it's, I think the big trend that you're calling out is it's moving from just having dashboards or just making a shiny chatbot that to tell you things, to actually having AI that's helping the team understand what's going on and be a tool they're actually using so they can ask better questions, interpret data, and move from insight to action much more quickly. And so if we start putting a little more structure around like what we're seeing in the market as well, I'm always looking at, what are the patterns that matter for leaders, right? And one of the things that we're seeing is real production usage in a few common areas is obviously customer facing, right? So support assistants that help agents answer questions faster, or chat experiences that can handle simple requests before they go to a human. And these are fairly mature at this point. There's a lot of ones that are maybe nuanced for a specific industry, but the chat-based support for the agents themselves and the end team is certainly pretty mature. I think some of the areas that are evolving and emerging that are interesting is things like knowledge work, right? So using AI to draft documents, summarize meeting, synthesize customer feedback, generate first drafts that can be refined, and any number of pieces along those sides that these are becoming part of everyday work in marketing, sales, operations, and finance. And then there's the analytics and planning, right? So you called out the dashboards of all these valuable KPIs and can start unpacking trends, risks, and opportunities. And so that's where a lot of the things that we do in our world, and we Qlik, and those worlds come together, not using AI in isolation, but sitting on top of a governed analytics layer. So you're not just asking the model to hallucinate an answer so it checks off that completed it. You're actually interpreting the numbers that you trust. So what you see, Jim, are there patterns in maybe who's moving faster in some of this evolution, be it certain sectors or types of organizations?
Well, Kevin, everybody wants AI. So, just let's say everybody. But I think organizations that already have a platform like Qlik or some other platform that's similar to that, those organizations understand their data and they're ready to put AI on top of that. I think some of the characteristics of companies that are positioned well for AI right now are those that know that data is critical. You need to have access to it. They've already started to look at data quality and data governance issues. And they already have IT and their business groups working together on the use cases for AI. I think those organizations are the ones that we are seeing jump to AI and jump to AI successfully. We still have a lot of organizations who just want to have an AI project up and running. And those are the ones that we get a little concerned about because they haven't thought about the data issues beforehand. So I think those are, kind of where we're seeing some successes and maybe where we see some concerns.
Yeah, I think that the pattern's pretty clear. Companies, organizations who already have been treating data and analytics as a strategic asset are well positioned to move quickly with AI. If you haven't and you start with AI, you're going to build the runway and the planes in the air, right? So it really starts at the beginning. And that aligns well because, in my role, I speak with a lot of leaders and CEOs and other executives from organizations of all different sizes. And sometimes it's, if I had 30 seconds, what can you tell me? So number one, don't start with tools. Start with decisions and where processes can be better, where faster insights would move the needle on your business in terms of increasing revenue, decreasing cost, eliminating risk, improving customer experience. Start with the opportunities, the problems that you're actually facing, and look at how AI can plug into those, not the other way around. Next, and I think this aligns to what you were just saying, are you really under the hood? Like, do you have good, clean data already? Do you have a platform like Qlik that can give you governed metrics and a single source of truth that you can use to start training models and AI against? And then third is treating it as a sort of operating model change, not a gadget. This isn't new software that we bought. Thinking about the roles, skills, governance, and how teams can use this in their work day to day. Because we want AI to augment your best people, not create a shadow organization of bots that are just off running and doing things. They should make your team stronger at what they're already great at. And so from Qlik's perspective, what separates the clients who are making maybe smarter, sustainable AI moves from those who are chasing the buzzwords?
Yeah, and I think you mentioned a couple already, Kevin. I think one of the things is you want to be an organization that has a real business case for AI, and not only have a real business case, but have a way to measure whether that implementation of the AI solution is going to help the organization. Whenever we go out to a prospect and they can say, hey, we're going to use AI to figure out customer churn or how to improve sales, and we have a way to measure that, it's going to be more successful. What we don't want to go, or what customers aren't as successful at doing AI is when they say, oh, the CIO wants an AI project. I mean, if you got no use case and you have no way to measure it, you're not going to be successful on that. The other thing, and I mentioned this before, and I think you've mentioned it, you really need to have a good handle on your data. If you already have a dashboard and you have metrics and KPIs that you want to follow, those are probably going to be the important things that you want AI to help you out with. So anybody who kind of already has that infrastructure built in, so I think we both said that a couple times, but it is important. And then finally, it's almost a sub-point to that previous one, is you need to have data governance. You need to know who has control of this data, what decisions will be made of it, and who those decisions are going to affect. And that's going to make your AI project much more impactful as you go forward. And I think with all of those things, your AI projects are going to be sticky. They're going to be used over and over again. As you said, you don't want that throwaway thing that is the shiny object. And those things typically are also the projects that can scale across the organization.
So if you're watching this as a business leader, the key takeaway is AI is not just a technology decision anymore. It's a strategy decision, an operating model decision, and a governance decision. And all those are highly linked to the quality of your data and analytics foundation that you'll be building upon. So to wrap this up, 2026 is the year that AI moves from the lab to the front line of moving from these isolated pilots to digital coworkers that sit inside your existing tools, build on your existing foundation. So in this first episode, we zoomed out, looked at the landscape. In our next episode, we're going to dive in more deeply into one of the most important trends that we touched on today, agentic AI and digital coworkers, what they actually are, what they can safely own, and what a practical first step looks like for your organization. If you're already thinking, where do we start? Are we ready under the hood? That's exactly what we'll be unpacking as we go deeper in the series with Qlik.
And as you watch the rest of this series, keep in mind that AI delivers the most value when it's sitting on top of a trusted, connected data. That's where the Qlik platform is really the backbone for everything else you want to do with AI.
And so to stay informed of our upcoming episodes, be sure to use the form on this page and we'll notify you as new episodes go live. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next discussion.